All right, today I'm going to teach you how to grow your muscles, but not in the typical gym approach. Excuse my jeans and my headphones on the floor, but the first thing you need to get in your mind is that lightweight does not exist. Now, when did I think of this phrase? Literally 3 seconds ago. What does lightweight does not exist mean? It means that there is no set number that categorizes light from heavy, right? So let's take an example like the bench press, right? If you say, like, if someone says I can bench press 100 pounds, let's say I can do 12 reps with 100 pounds, right? That is not lightweight, right? And oh, but it's only 100 pounds, but it's easy. But that's the thing, right? Your muscles are like completely almost like personalized and fit to your body, in the sense that like everybody's genetics and strength levels are different, right? So like when I used to lift 2 years ago, 100 pounds felt like 300 pounds. And now 100 pounds doesn't feel like that anymore. But does that mean that that was lightweight at the time? No, right? It was a weight that, like, relative compared to me, it was suffice enough to help me grow my muscles, because nobody starts jacked, nobody starts strong, right? And someone's lightweight is going to be heavyweight for someone else, and someone's heavyweight is going to be lightweight for someone else. So the first thing you need to do is you need to stop comparing and stop thinking, oh, I'm only curling the 25s, this is lightweight. Oh, I'm only bench pressing 135, this is lightweight. That doesn't exist, right? There is no such thing as lightweight, right? Like, your weight, your struggle is relative to you. And the thing about your muscles is that they don't know what weight feels like, right? And like, oh, well, how can you prove this? Well, exactly what I said. If I tried bench pressing 100 pounds with my chest 2 years ago, like, I would struggle, right? I would struggle. It would be hard, right? And my muscle wouldn't necessarily think like, oh, this is officially heavyweight, because years later, now 100 pounds feels like nothing to me. But that doesn't mean that it's lightweight, because if I grab 100 pounds, or I grab 135, let's say I used to struggle with 135 like everyone else who benches, and then I progressively got stronger. But if I grab 135 now and I go slow, I go controlled, I have proper tempo, I have proper lifting technique, right? To get that muscle maturity, I'm gonna realize, damn, this 135 feels like 225. It feels hard, it feels heavy, it's stimulating my chest, it's pumping blood. That's exactly how you grow your muscles. You need to teach them how, like, you need to teach yourself how to actually use your muscle properly, right? Like, when I say I lift lightweight, this is what I mean, in the sense that, let's say today, excuse me, my eyeball's itchy. Let's say today, right? My back was feeling, I was gonna hit chest and back. My back was feeling extremely sore. My chest was feeling good to go, but I know I don't have the stabilization that I usually get from my lats, from my back, when I'm like seated or laying down. Like, I just don't have as much stability because my lats are super sore. So I trained with lightweight today, right? Like, I wasn't trying to bench press 315. I wasn't trying to incline 225. I stayed relatively light on all free weight, and I stayed relatively light on all cable or machines, anything like that. But surprisingly, and I'll put a clip of it, I still got the best pump, like chest pump of my life. And so, like, oh, I trained with lightweight. Yeah, I got such an insane pump. I stimulated my muscles. Therefore, I actually did grow my muscles, even though I wasn't lifting as heavy. And it's like, how is that possible? Right? And it's not like, oh, because I did lightweight today that I wasn't able to stimulate my muscle, because that's how you actually grow them. Not by just increasing in weight and doing it however, but by teaching them, like, okay, like, we're gonna press 135 and this is what it's gonna feel like. Because, like, without mind muscle connection, you can't build that muscle maturity, and you can't build like that strength, because if you just ego lift, right, and you're using momentum, or you're bouncing it off your chest, or you're doing the curls and you're swinging, like you're not using your muscles like just the muscle. Does that make sense? So like I can, like what I did today, I can do pause reps on incline bench and actually press with my chest, or I can do incline bench and I can bounce it off my chest every time and not fully use my chest, but instead do 50% momentum, 50% chest instead of 100% chest, 0% momentum. And do you see how, like, okay, you take the guy who's doing 225 on incline, but he bounces it on his chest every time. And let's say that he's using a lot of momentum, like 75% of the actual rep was momentum, 25% was him pressing it. He's only growing his chest at that 25% rate, right? Versus a Chad like me, sorry. Okay, sorry. But a guy like me, right? I grab 135 and I do slow and controlled and I do pause and I do tempo reps and I'm using 100% of my chest and 0% momentum. Who's gonna get their chest more defined? Who's gonna have the better shape? Who's gonna have the better fullness? Who's gonna have the better mind muscle connection? The guy who's actually using his chest to bench, or the guy who's bouncing it on his chest and only using 25% of his actual chest pressing power, right? So like everything comes in play when it comes to building your body and actually getting it bigger. It's more than just how heavy you're lifting, right? Or how light you're lifting. Those things don't exist in bodybuilding. I can take a 15-pound dumbbell right now and like my arms aren't necessarily tiny. I could grab a 50-pound dumbbell and I could do 12. Like it won't be that hard, but I can do 12 slow and controlled reps with perfect form, perfect tempo, and that would be better for muscle growth and more stimulating than if I were to grab something like 50s and just swing it and use 10% of my muscle, 90% momentum. Do you see what I'm saying here? So like, again, I just want to clear up, because a lot of people get demotivated or a lot of people feel bad because like, oh, I can only do a certain amount of weight. But there is no such thing as lightweight. There is no such thing as heavyweight. It's all relative to you. And the more you actually use your muscle to lift, the more you'll realize you don't need to go that heavy to actually stimulate your muscle and to grow it. Because again, you grow your muscle by using it, not by completing reps. That's why when people say, oh, do I do 12 reps? Do I do 10 reps? Do I do 8 reps? Do what stimulates the muscle. That's why I say you got to check out your pump. You got to see how you look, because it's not about, okay, I did X amount of reps for X amount of exercises and I'm gonna grow. It doesn't work that way. You have to stimulate your muscles to properly grow them. Okay, so like this is honestly one of the better videos that I've made, because like this information is so useful. And like people say, like, you know, like how do you get the, look at that, I'm sitting down, I'm not even gonna lie, people are like, oh, like, you know, like how you built like that, like the strength, the definition, whatever. Use your muscle to grow your muscle, right? Like you can't, like if even the slightest factors, right? Like you're using momentum, or like someone spotting you and they're doing like, even like the person helping you with the weights, like it comes to a point where you're not doing the exercise, but an external factor is, whether it be momentum, whether it be someone helping you, whether it be like you're cheating, you're half repping, right? Like you can't half use a muscle the way you can half do a rep. Like you need to go slow, you need to do controlled, you need to lighten the weight if it means you'll use more of the muscle. Again, lighten the weight so you can use more of the muscle. That's something that no one will ever, well, people will say, you know, lift lighter, but they won't really go in depth as to why you should do it, right? And I'm telling you, the reason why is so that you can actually use your muscle instead of using momentum, a spot, etc., etc. But I'm gonna post this on, like, I might post a clip on Instagram and then like put the link, you know, I might promote this. But if you guys are coming here from YouTube, check out my Instagram. I'm about to hit 10K soon. I think I'm at 8,500. If you're coming from my Instagram, let me know down in the comments below, because I need to know how many people actually watch my stuff when I promote it. But I really hope this information helped you guys. again, this is like the stuff I'm selling is stuff I do on a day-to-day basis. So it's not bullshit because I'm jacked 24/7, anytime, anywhere. So if you're trying to get results like these, you're gonna have to try really hard. Cause like, to be honest, I'm a genetic. Okay, I'll see you guys later.